Hey guys, Pello here. I'm going to apologize in advance about the rant today, but this video is long overdue. The campus shuttle program at IUPUI needs major reform, and I'm just now starting to realize that I'm not the only one who believes this, which is why I'm making this video, along with a petition to IUPUI to implement major changes in the shuttle program here on campus. After 3 years of living on campus and using the campus shuttle, I can honestly say there are very little good things about the shuttle. But before I start this rant, I must praise the one constant good thing about this program, Mike. Everyone who lives on campus should know who I'm talking about, Mike, the bus driver. He's always been kind to every student, and he always tries to stir up conversation with us to help pass the time. He is truly the best and only good thing about this shuttle program here on campus. Now time for the rant. Let's start with this week. I'm going to try and insert some pictures and videos and whatever else I can on top of the video here to help you guys who don't understand what I'm talking about better understand what I'm talking about. But for the students on campus that know what I'm talking about, let's get to it. This week has been absolutely awful. I'm going to talk specifically more about the Gray Line because that affects all the students who live at Ball Hall and all the students that live at Riverwalk, and then all of the students that need to transfer between all those. Also, any of the students that are using the shuttle, the Gray Line for the hospitals, they've also mentioned in some of my posts that they are having issues as well. Well, it makes sense because everyone's having issues. The program overall is just awful, This week, for example, there are 3 Gray Line buses that run. And this week, they have all been following each other almost the entire week. Literally, what's the point of having 3 buses for one route if they're all going to follow behind each other within 30 seconds or so? I'll try and insert the picture so you guys can see what I mean. They're following the Gray Line, and then they're all just following each other, and they're not actually picking up. There'll be 80 students waiting for them because there hasn't been a bus that's gone by in the last half an hour, which is cool. That's good for their numbers or whatever. I'm sure that's not the reason is. I don't know what the reason is, but I'm just saying, yeah, there's going to be a lot of kids for them to pick up, but then they're just going to follow each other, and the second and third bus aren't going to have any kids to pick up because the first bus picked everyone up, and then they're just going to have to wait another half an hour again for the next bus to come by because they're just following each other around. And this isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened several times. Like I said, I've been here for 3 years now, and this happens constantly. There are always issues with this shuttle program. I know for a fact that the shuttle program is outsourced to a different company, so it's not actually IUPUI staff that are driving these buses. Now, I think that there would be a very big difference in the program if IUPUI did not outsource this and they actually had their own program for this, but that costs money, and IUPUI probably doesn't want to spend that kind of money. But you know what? If we bring this issue to their attention enough, obviously if one person complains about it, they're not going to care, but if we can get enough people to start talking about this and start showing that they care about this issue, then maybe that they'll do something about it. Who knows? Probably not, but we'll find out. I just want to say that if they come out with the excuse that, this was a one-time thing, this isn't going to happen again, that's bullcrap, because this has been happening for 3 years now, and I'm sure it's been happening longer than that as well. But I've only been here for 3 years, so I can only speak for myself. But yeah, so, it's just, and another issue is, and I talked to Mike about it, who I was talking about. Mike is the best driver. He's absolutely amazing. We talk about the Bears all the time, and the Indians and the Colts. He's a great guy. But they'll do the shuttle, they'll do the route, and talking about the Gray Line here, they'll do the route, and then they will stop at Ball Hall for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Every time they do the route. And that makes absolutely no sense to me. They'll sit there, they'll have 2 buses sitting there for 10 minutes, and then one of them will leave to go pick up students. Like, during that time, students need to be picked up. Why are they waiting? I talked to Mike about this, and he said that the bus drivers need a break. And I completely understand. They do need a break, They are driving constantly for their 8-hour shift, sitting in that chair, or whatever, but they don't need a 10-minute break every 15 minutes, because how long does it take them to do one lap? 15 minutes maybe? And then they stop for 10 minutes. And I'm not ranting on the bus drivers per se. It's just that's what they're told to do, and it makes absolutely no sense. You're wasting gas while they're idling there, so it's not like you can say they're trying to save gas or save money, which I'm sure is probably part of the reason. But, there's no point. There's students that need to be picked up. There's 3 buses that should be running constantly. That's how every other shuttle program works here. I don't know why this one's any different. This should be an asset for the IUPUI community. They should highlight how great that their shuttle program is. This is a large campus, large-ish campus. If you're talking about the length that the buses have to travel, the campus isn't very big, but they have the brown and the purple lines that go all the way out past the river, to all of those housing complexes over there. They should highlight this program at IUPUI. This should be one of the things that they talk about during orientation, but they don't, because it's awful. It's an awful program. But yeah, so as I realized that the buses were all sitting at the same spot and nobody was moving, I got upset and made a Facebook post to the IUPUI Class of 2020 page, And so, yeah, I want to read a couple comments from some people because, like I said, I only have my one perspective on this. I ride the gray line every day to get to class, and it's just awful. But there are other people that are having other issues, Somebody said, this is what I realized. These burden the hospital staff so much, I would sign the petition. I didn't think about the all of the hospital staff that use these shuttles, They're just as burdened as we are, I personally don't know why there are 3, because this morning 2 left at the same time. Makes no sense. Yeah, I'll attach pictures. Yeah, the buses will be at the same spot at the same time. It makes absolutely no sense. The purple and brown lines do the same exact thing. He's talking about when I said that they, they'll ride each other's ass, all the way around, They'll just be they'll be following each other. And that's completely counterintuitive of the whole program. At least it should be. Honestly, I rode the purple and brown line that made its own route because there was only one purple bus. I swear it's like they don't realize some of us have to go to work after class and don't have time to wait for a bus that may or may not show up. Exactly. Granted, they do have the app that shows you where the buses are at, but then that just shows us how awful they are. Let's look at it right now, actually. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Okay. Well, the gray line buses have spread out just a little bit, The pink line is okay, in my opinion, it sits at Campus Center for like 20 minutes. What is the point of that? I don't know, but I'm sure they've got an excuse, Here we go. Purple and brown line are probably, right next to each other. Literally right next to each other, following each other. And they run the same route as well, for the majority of the route. So, yeah, it's just, they need to fix this. This is an issue, and it's been going on for a while now, and I haven't said anything because, I thought, what, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's a one-time thing. I've been making excuses for them, and now it's time to stop. I'm not the only one that feels this way, and I know that now, and so it's time for IUPUI to say something, do something about this. It's time for us to do something about this. It's time for us to just stop making Facebook posts, stop complaining to our friends, and just try and do something. Granted, IUPUI is probably just going to brush it over and ignore it and forget about it and not do anything about it. But it's at least our job to try, and if they don't fix it, then I don't know. My next step would probably be to go to the newspaper. I don't know. Maybe they could find an article in it somewhere. I'm sure they could, But yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the gray line here because that's all I have experience with. But I know the purple line, the brown line, and the pink line. I use the pink line every once in a while, like I said, and they'll sit at the campus center for like 20 minutes. I don't understand. I get it. I get that the bus drivers need a break. I understand that. But a 20-minute break, and the pink line is like so short. I'm going to try and insert the picture of a post that someone made a while ago that I remember seeing, and they were talking about extending the pink line over to the nearest grocery store, which is Kroger over on Michigan. It's about 2 blocks off of campus, technically. And I think that would be perfect because the pink line is already sitting at Campus Center for 20 minutes. They can extend that line 10 more minutes or so to go out to Kroger to pick kids up and let kids go grocery shopping and stuff like that. Then they'll still have 10 minutes to sit around and do nothing at Campus Center like they've been doing for the past 3 years. But, I just don't know how they can do this and nobody at the office that runs the place not think there's an issue. Because there is an issue here. And, Yeah, so I'm gonna make a petition to go along with this. It'll be down in the description. I'm also gonna share this on all of the IUPUI Facebook pages that I can find and everything. Hopefully spread the word as much as I can. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry for the rant, but this has been long overdue. So, yeah, even if you guys aren't affected by this personally, if you're another college student somewhere, or if you're an older person that's watching my videos or something like that, everybody can relate to this. Just think about it. Right now it was snowing and probably 30 because it was like raining in the morning and then it started snowing. And it was windy today. And and the big thing is the gray line. So everybody. Sorry, I getting just thinking more, but the gray line will ride from the campus center to Ball Hall and then sit there and wait 10 minutes. So all of the students have to get off the bus and walk the last couple blocks, which isn't that big of a deal. Walking a couple blocks isn't a big deal. But it's the whole idea of the thing. The bus is supposed to take us where we're going, but it just stops. I get it if they need a break every hour or every couple hours, How about a normal job where they get a break every 3 or 4 hour shift, But hey, baby steps here. If they need a break every hour or so, that's fine, but not every single lap they do, because then the students just literally, like today, we just got off the bus and walked because the bus is just going to sit there for 10 minutes. And that's exactly what happened. All three buses were, by the time the first bus was about to leave, the third bus showed up. So then all three buses were sitting at Ball Hall again. But yeah, so, I just, if you guys feel passionate about this at all, if you guys are affected by this at all, I urge you to sign the petition. If this is on the Facebook, comment down below and talk about, or even on the YouTube channel, comment down below and tell me your personal stories. How has this affected your life? I know this has affected me in many ways. I've had to walk to work in 12-degree weather while it's snowing and winding because the buses aren't coming, and all kinds of other stuff. But I'm not going to go through all of those personal testimonies and stories because there's just too many of them for me personally. But if you guys want to share your stories down below, go ahead. Maybe that'll help urge whoever in the IUPUI dean's office or whoever's in charge of this. I don't know, but it's time for them to change. It's time for a change to this program. So I hope you guys feel the same way. Thanks for watching.